Good day, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the Rieg AD Wedding Show. We're already on day 62 of the South Africa lockdown.
Can you believe it?
We can't believe it. We're going to do things a little bit different today. We've already done the Zoom call with a very well-known musician, Christiaan Baartman. We had quite a lengthy discussion with him, so we don't want to make it as long as we usually do. So without any further ado, let's go over to Christiaan.
Christiaan, thank you very much for joining us on our Rieg AD Wedding Show. It is an absolute honor to have you. Introduce yourself to our viewers.
Good day, dear and beloved people. We are gathered here just to celebrate weddings and life and such things. I am Christiaan Baartman, and I sing.
Thank you, Christiaan Baartman. I couldn't have done that introduction better.
No,
I'm sure you would have been able to, but I'm just going to leave it right there.
Christiaan, you're more used to being on that side of the camera than us. So I think you might as well lead this interview, okay? But I know if I give you that, I don't know if you will ever stop.
So, AD, this hat you're wearing currently, are you trying to hide something, or is it a fashion statement?
Yes, I am lobbying for hairdressers to open. Hence the hat.
Is that your natural hair color? I would have never guessed.
This is actually, yes, it is. Enough about my hair. So, Christiaan, how long have you been a musician?
Well, I would say full-time professional musician since 2005. I've been touring since 2002. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
15 years is very long for a young man like yourself.
Very young.
Can you still remember the first time you performed at a wedding or specifically a wedding type event live?
I would say that would be about 2002, where I wrote a song for a friend of mine that got married, and I sang it at their wedding.
Wow, that's awesome. Where was that?
That was in Port Elizabeth, if memory serves me correctly.
Close to us.
Yes, around the corner.
Close to home.
Close to home. It was before RAD Photography existed, though, else you guys would have most probably taken the photos of this wedding.
Yes, I know. Christiaan, what do you think makes the big difference, or what is the big difference between having a live performance versus a DJ at a wedding?
I think, just to clarify that, not replacing a DJ, because yes. I think any live performer can't be there for the whole reception. Obviously, you will need a DJ, but having a live performer, what difference will that make in your view to a wedding?
Well, here's a very good comparison. What's the difference between watching a live show on a stream and going to a venue and watching it? There's a massive difference. You have a vibe, there's experience, there's almost like electricity that's happening, and it all adds up towards the energy of the wedding. I always say there's only three things that are important in a wedding. That is the alcohol, the music, and the photographer. The rest doesn't matter. You can look like crap because a good photographer can make you look good. I mean, it's one of those things.
Yes. Photoshop.
No,
Photoshop.
I just want to tell the viewers that the point that he just made was out of a musician's point of view, and not out of a magician's point of view.
Because now you can't make any weddings happen, and you can't make alcohol being sold.
Yes, you're talking about weddings that cannot happen and alcohol that cannot be sold. It's like
is just a question of time. It's like evolution. These things will find a way. I've already done an online wedding in this lockdown time, so these things are going to start happening. It's just a question of time. People are going to get fed up, or the law's going to get relaxed. If you can have a religious gathering of 50 people plus that the president just told us we can, weddings are quickly going to follow. It's going to be a matter of weeks. We're going to have weddings again. Easy.
Christiaan, just out of interest, you just mentioned there that you had a live wedding or an online lockdown wedding. Can you elaborate a little bit on how that happened? Because we just had a discussion, I think the day before yesterday, about more online streaming, as well as the one wedding that happened overseas where everything was done on Zoom, like a big conference setup with all the speakers, etc.
That is exactly what we're heading to. Just for the interim, the model was exactly like that. We had a Zoom wedding. Someone bought a subscription, and the things could actually go on for longer than 40 minutes. And and we all gathered in, and I had a special setup where I can actually do music through the Zoom, and I was playing DJ music and singing along, and there was a guy emceeing from another site, and people logged in all over the world, just being part of the thing. And the reverend was also zooming in, and they filled the papers in there and they send it to him. I don't necessarily understand how the legality of the situation works, but at the end of the day, you know, if you're married in the eyes of your entity and your fellow loved ones, then I don't really understand why a piece of paper matters. You know, you can fill it in later. So the idea of this legality thing, if you live together for longer than 3 years, you're already officially married, right? So the idea of having to have all these things at the moment just becomes a bit less important for some people, and just being able to marry into with this partner even through this crisis. I actually did, the day before lockdown started, I did a wedding at a small hotel where people just phoned everyone up and said, listen, we were supposed to get married in September, we want to do this lockdown together, and they just got married on the spot. So it all depends. If you need all the big things and the excitement and everything, that's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it all depends on where your timeline is at, because I don't think we should allow lockdown to dictate our own timeline. We need to go on with our lives, and that's kind of where we're going. And once again, this thing is not going to last forever. I mean, this is a post-modern society. We're going to get a solution within a few months / a year or so, and we're all going to find ways to live inside the parameters of this COVID-19 reality. So live music, all these things that weddings need will still be here, and we will be able to do all these things. You just kind of have to decide where your own personal limits are towards this. Are you okay with marrying over Zoom? Do you want to be able to touch your mom and give her a hug? You know, these are the things you need to decide for yourself. Anyway, but we're going to do a big philosophical conversation here.
Christiaan, I think what you mentioned is very interesting, the wedding just before lockdown. As you might know, we went up to Johannesburg to do a wedding at Shepstone Gardens the week before lockdown. And that wedding had to be cut down quite drastically in terms of guests. But then the night we arrived back in the Eastern Cape, we photographed a couple who was supposed to get married the Saturday after lockdown. And they did something very special. They decided to get married on the tennis courts where they got engaged. They are both school teachers at a school in Uitenhage, and they decided they want to spend lockdown together. And they got married on that tennis court, and it was so special. I'm not saying the big wedding they'll be having later on will not be as special, but it kind of make people realize what's important.
Yes.
It's not necessarily about all the guests and everyone. It's about you and your bride, your partner, getting married, loving one another, and that's being together. That's the most important. All these other things are nice to have, but if you have to choose, they're not everything.
So there's another model that, sorry, AD, before to interrupt you, but there's another model that I've been playing with for a few years that I think might become popular now, is the weekend wedding, where you have your ceremony on a Friday afternoon, everybody logs in on their Zoom, and the 50 close people actually attend the wedding. Then the Saturday night you have the friends over, and you have like a nice big party, and the Sunday you have the family over, and you have a special intimate wedding with them. So then you can still have 100 people doing your wedding, but you do it over a weekend, over 3 days, and you have a special, and you can have 150 people, a partial part of them at the actual event, friends for the Saturday, and close family and friends for the Sunday brunch thing, and I feel we will find models like that. That's going to be absolutely amazing.
It's a wonderful idea. I mean, everyone likes a weekend celebration. Yes. I mean, most people travel far. It is a little bit of a downer when you only attend the wedding and you don't even get time to spend with your friends, and the next day it's over. So that is a wonderful idea.
I think that's a brilliant idea. I mean, people often complain after the wedding that they didn't have enough time to say hello to all their friends and family. That's because people invite 150, 200, sometimes 300 people to a wedding. It's impossible to even say hi to all of them. So your
Yeah.
model of spreading it over a weekend is a brilliant idea. You stick within the ambit of the current regulations, you know, whenever that becomes available, and yeah, you can still have your
Make it
party.
longer. Linger longer.
Linger longer. I like that idea. That's cool.
Christiaan, if I can ask you something as advice for brides and grooms, I think the choice of music on the wedding day is often overlooked. And it doesn't matter if you get a professional musician or a DJ or someone else to facilitate the music, but I think often the wrong music is chosen. What, as a musician, what would be your advice to a bride and groom in terms of putting together a playlist, whether that playlist be played from a phone over a Bluetooth speaker or it's done by a professional DJ or a musician?
So here's the big question, right? There's actually a very deeper underlying question here is, why do we get musical professionals? Why is a DJ professional, right? Because the music you listen to that inspires you and that moves you emotionally is not going to translate onto a dance floor, right? Or onto a big venue or into the vibe of the event. So that's why we have meetings on meetings beforehand to make sure that the musical content is ready for the event or for the wedding. Because you might like Bohemian Rhapsody's full 7.5-minute song, but when you put it on the third song of the dance floor, you're not going to get any movement, you know. So the DJ that's been doing 300-400 weddings, he understands how it works. He reads a crowd. He's been playing from the Afrikaner community to the really English communities and everything in between. So he understands the emotional movement and content of music. So what I would really suggest is start making a playlist. Songs that you like that has high energy, songs that you like that is middle energy, and songs that you like that is low energy. Things that you do not at any point want played at all. If you are not a big fan of dubstep, you have to physically have a piece of paper that tells the DJ, no dubstep. And then if enough people ask for this song, yes, play it. But do not play this song. Then you give the DJ that playlist and you say, here's my songs I like that's high energy, medium energy, low energy. And he'll find spaces within the day to fill with those music and also music like that. Because he knows this song. Let's say you like Shut Up and Dance With Me. But there's not a lot of other songs you know that's got the same energy. He knows other songs that's in the same vibe, that's got the same energy that people know. So you're not responsible for playing all the music. You're not so responsible to make the playlist. You're going to mess it up because you don't understand how a day like this works. Someone that's been doing it for years do understand how it works. Even though you spend thousands of hours planning your wedding, doesn't make you a specialist in every field. So trust the people you pay. And also, if you get a DJ for 2,500 Rand, you're going to get 2,500 Rands worth of DJ, you know, including sound and everything. I'm not saying that's a bad price. There might be good DJs for that price. But at the end of the day, you know, you get what you pay for. You pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So, I'm laughing at my own little joke right there, right?
It was funny.
Thank you. So just make sure that that you choose someone that has a track record, you know, that you trust, and that other people can tell you work. So yeah, these are things that's important, you know, because if you have really bad music at your wedding, it's going to create a very awkward energy, and you want to have everything flowing in each other. You want to have it from chilled vibe to medium vibe. You want to end off with this high energy where everyone's dancing and just having a good time. And if you don't do the music right, you totally misinterpret that energy going up.
That is solid advice, Christiaan. I want to ask you another thing. Do you only when you perform at a wedding, do you give a live service, like live performing and DJing and emceeing? What is or does it depend on what the client asks for?
Yes, so there are multiple packages that one can can activate with my services. People mostly want me to sing, right? So when they contact me, they usually already have a DJ lined up. So I don't take any offense of just plugging into a certain part. So I would, for instance, do pre-drinks. That's quite a cool space for me because I understand how to move the energy from the church to to the venue, and there needs to be a bit of a adjustment in the mindset. So people really book me a lot for that. But then, of course, sometimes they want me to sing in the church. Sometimes they want me to sing in the venue when they're first dance or whatever. So we have different packages for that. And then I have professional people working with me. So I'm not DJing. I get a DJ in that DJs with me, and I have a sound system that I can provide, or I use the sound system that's there. So everything is catered towards the needs of the client as well as what the venue provides. So you don't want to step on any toes, you know, you kind of want to be able to be moldable towards what the circumstances ask for.
Thank you very much for that. Then Christiaan, we know that there is very exciting news from your side. Yes! Concerning weddings. Tell us more about that.
So, yeah, my career, I've done so many weddings. I actually lost count. I have no idea. And something that I've noticed was sometimes the groom disconnects emotionally from a wedding day, because there's so many things that are happening, and sometimes most of us men, we don't necessarily know the difference between pink and salmon, and we don't really care what color the roses are. We just say, yes, dear. And then at a point, you know, you just kind of just do what you need to do. Let me know if there's something big. What does it cost? That's kind of what it comes down to, you know. And also in the same breath, we don't necessarily understand or know how to express our emotions. And I've seen this. In the last couple of years, the divorce rate has climbed to 50% in South Africa. And I think one of the biggest reasons for that is communication, or lack of communication. So I wrote an Afrikaans song called My Wife, or My Vrou, and it is about a wedding day in the man's perspective. And it gives him a chance or a tool to be able to say what he feels, but he doesn't necessarily know how to express it. So it's about the man saying, I take responsibility for you as my wife. I take you. I'll love you forever. And it's said in a very nice and poetic and sweet way, so that, you know, everybody can enjoy it at a wedding. Typical wedding style music, as one can say. So we've launched the song last week Friday. We're launching the music video the 29th of May now, and I've already had a very good response towards the song. It's been played on all the Afrikaans radio stations, and it's currently, like, in the first week, it's already my best streamed song that I've ever released. So so yeah, I think it's going to have a lot of impact, especially in weddings where the guys don't necessarily know how to express themselves, or just people that really can align themselves with the message of the song.
We are extremely excited for that. We can't wait for the first client to ask for that song, but specifically to ask for you to be there.
Yeah.
I think that would be, for us, would be like a cherry on the freaking quintessential cake. Okay, if you can be at a wedding where we do the photography and you are there live performing it.
Yeah.
That happened once. That was quite a cool wedding though. And another thing that I'm going to do for all the wedding photographers and cinematographers watching is I'm going to give out my song free copyright documentation for all wedding photographers and cinematographers. They can use the song without having to pay any royalties on any platforms. Because I know a lot of people use songs and the songs get taken off because there's royalty issues with the song at all the different platforms. So I'm going to give out free royalty certificates to all wedding photographers and all wedding cinematographers so they can use the song free of charge. So I feel that the message needs to go out, and you can't be hindered by something like a royalty statement, 5 or 6 cents coming my way and now you're not allowed to use the song. It's not cool. So yeah, stuff like that I'm very excited about.
Is it going to be a just for a certain period, or is it?
No, it's going to be indefinite. It won't be broadcasting though. So if you want to broadcast it over TV or something like that, it's not going to be implemented there. But all streaming sites. So in other words, your YouTubes, your Vimeo, your Facebook, all these sites will be able to use it without needing having issues with the royalties.
Your licensing.
licensing. It'll only be for wedding photographers and cinematographers, though. It won't be extended for other companies as of yet. We'll see if there's a big need. I might extend it for them as well. But I literally have a little certificate that my lawyer pulled up, and I just put the name of the company in there, and I mail it to you or I email it to you, and you can use the song indefinite on your
awesome.
wedding videos.
Christiaan, we'll definitely make a point of when we make this YouTube episode live to specifically put that in, because that is a huge thing. We know, because we only obviously also use licensed sites for our music, and we know you have to pay a lot of money, and there are lots of photographers that unfortunately are not that well known, or that they don't know the industry or the music and licensing industry that well. They don't even know that they.
Yeah, I disagree a little bit with AD, because if you're a photographer or if you're a cinematographer, you're supposed to know about copyright. And anyone in today's day and age should tell you that they don't know about copyright and that you can't take someone else's hard work and just use it for your own gain, I think is lying. That's my personal view. So I'm very pedantic about using licensed music and things like that. It's the same as our photographs. It's your art. You create it. Same with your music. You create it. So I think you should be remunerated for it. So it's an awesome gesture to make that available. And I also want to say we are very privileged that some of the video clips that we captured, I think of 2 of our couples, are actually featuring in your video. So yeah, yes. So we're very privileged for that as well. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thank you for the footage. That was absolutely amazing. The opening shot was stunning. So I mean, but just coming back to Richard's statement, it's technology has made it very easy. So there's an algorithm floating around in cyberspace, and all it does is just shuts down your video. So if you don't use the right songs, they'll say, no, sorry, can't use this.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is out there, but I mean, a lot of people just disrespect it in any case and just put whatever music is on there. It might not even go into Facebook, but still, I'm personally just very serious about using and respecting copyright. I think that's actually the thing.
Yeah, so just an interesting fact. I mean, my publisher doesn't like me to throw around these numbers. He says it's not cool. But, I mean, this song has cost me more than 30,000 Rand till date. So that money you never make back on sales or streams. So these kind of things you do as a labor of love. So just to give you guys an idea, I mean, photographers even have bigger expenses with their gear. But you know, art is not cheap. People think art is free because they can stream stuff on YouTube, but they forget the massive amounts of capital you need to put behind it to make it happen.
The investment.
It's
the investment and the creativity. I mean, it's not just a tangible thing. I mean, I don't have to tell you about that.
But if it was easy, anyone could do it. So we all know that, and I mean, that's a whole totally different debate. But yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else that you would like to share as a performing artist for wedding couples?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you must go with your gut when it comes to musicians and live music, and no regrets. You know, when you look back, just make sure that you've got a lot of good references for your DJ, because you don't want the guy to play the wrong song at the wrong time. You know, and if he does, it's not the end of the day. It's not about that. It's about marrying your best friend. So you know, we put so much value on these things, and if we forget about the core principles of what the day is about, we tend to start getting sour about the little things that go wrong, like the flowers are a bit wilted, or you know, the musician's one speaker is not working, or the reverend came 5 minutes before the service start. If he's late, so what? Just start later, you know. And just kind of remember it's about the day, and the guys that are there are professionals. You know, just don't sweat the small stuff. It's about you. It's about your husband. It's about your wife. It's about your spouse, your partner, and just be glorious and happy for the day. If it happens on Zoom, so be it. It's not the end of the world, you know. Life is this long, and your wedding day is this long. Just put things in perspective, man. And and use Rad Photography. They're amazing.
Thanks, Christiaan.
Just plugged it right in there.
Christiaan is family.
Is family.
But Christiaan is family that even if he wasn't family, I would choose him still.
Yes.
Aww. Oh. Yes, full disclosure, I think there's a few liters of wine that has been dispensated between me and AD. So,
Yeah, he's talking
Putting out
about my
that-
other twin sister.
your other twin sister. Oh, you don't drink.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
my twin sister.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so Christiaan, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it so much. And
Thank
we
you for
cannot
having
wait to see you in real life
Yes.
and to just make music together again and hug and sit together and have a glass of wine.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Love you too, eh?
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, Christiaan. That was awesome chatting to you. I hope you guys have an awesome gig tonight. And from our side, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all in episode 12. Remember to subscribe, and remember, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away a Rieg AD family lifestyle or couple shoot. All you have to do is subscribe at the bottom. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.